Hello, welcome to my channel AK Learner School. So now today we will be coming up with a very interesting as well as very important topic of nowadays. As we all know that B.Ed is a course which all the teachers have to pursue. So in B.Ed basically we know the teaching method and develop some teaching skills. So यहाँ पे हम लोग सीखेंगे कुछ टीचिंग स्किल्स के बारे में. So the skills at the micro level we must have to understand, and that's why the skills at very beginning are known as micro teaching skills in B.Ed or D.L.Ed courses. So here you can see this micro teaching skills for B.Ed as well as D.L.Ed. And the first skill is the writing instructional objectives. So first thing is writing instructional objectives. So first of all, I'll have to write the instructional objectives in micro teaching skills. So what is instructional objectives? So the first instructional instructions that what we are going to discuss or going to do in a particular lesson or some teaching points. So this is the first micro teaching skills, and this is applicable for Dibrugarh University as well as various other universities. And this is my channel AK Learner School. So all of you whoever is watching are requested to subscribe, like and share my channel so that all of the different places, people from different places can get the benefits of it. So the name of my channel is AK Learner Schools, and you can email me at aklearnerschool@gmail.com. So my name is Anuj Das. Okay, moving further, we will go directly to the empty skill 1, that is micro teaching skills 1. So what is empty skill 1? This empty skills are taught in this course specially designed in Dibrugarh University. Practicum 3 school based experiences, and this is the course number B.Ed 30522. Okay. So moving further, we can first see that this is the first skill number 1, which is skill of writing instructional objectives. So we must have to write the identification data. That means the name of the teacher, name of the students, which class we are planning to write these instructional objectives, date as well as subject, name of the textbook lesson. So the structures may vary from college or from institute to institute. So now we are going to write the specific objective. So what the specific objective means? That in specific objectives, what we generally talk about is a particular lesson or the particular content. What is the main outcome? What is our main objectives as a teacher? What objectives we set for this particular lesson that we need to understand or we need to put here before starting the whole class or whole instructional process or teaching learning process. In other way we can say that. So the first, suppose these instructional objectives are based on the text or the chapter or lesson we have taken. So this is Tiger in the Zoo. This is a poem, Tiger in the Zoo of class 10. So these instructional objectives are based on that. So first of all, you can see that the pupils will be able to recall. So first, these terms are very much important. These are in instructional objectives. Particular objectives is people will be able to do what? Able to recall. They will be able to recall. Recall what? The name of the poet. So we are setting a plan before, or we have set some objectives that the pupils will be able to recall the name of the poet. So this is under knowledge level. That means in Bloom's taxonomy it will be coming under the knowledge level, knowledge, understanding. and then moving further we will get the other other in terms under the uh, particularly this cognitive domain especially. Yes, so I'm forgetting for the time being. So moving further, we can see that the pupils will be able to do what? The pupils will be able to identify. So see, they will be able to identify what? Identify the difficult words and also do what? Also they can explain their meaning. So they will be able to identify different difficult words, and that identification will be coming under the knowledge of cognitive domain, knowledge level of cognitive domain. So there are different level and knowledge is the basic level. Okay, then go to the understanding. So when they will identify, they will have some knowledge, therefore they have identified these difficult words. These are the difficult words they have identified. Why? Because they have the knowledge of this. So this cognitive domain knowledge level is applicable here. And then moving to that explain, the pupils will be able to explain their meaning also. So when they will be able to explain their meaning? When they will come to identify that these are difficult words, and they learn, out of this learning they will be able to explain now to other people also that these word means that, right? So this is my objective, that the students will be able to identify as well as explain. So these are coming under this knowledge level as well as understanding level of cognitive domain. So all of the things are under cognitive domain. Okay, cognitive domain. Okay, moving further, in the third instructional objectives, what you can see there, the pupils will be able to do what? They will be able to identify. Again, see, they will be able to identify the literary devices like personifications, so on and so forth, metaphor, different literary devices we may used in the stories maybe, or even in the poetic devices in the poems used by the poet. So the pupils will be identified that terms in the poem. So they will be identified as well as they will be able to explain, that is understanding. So identification actually coming under the knowledge level. The pupils will be able to explain the theme of the poem. So they will be explain the theme. They will be able to explain what? The theme of the poem, that is understanding level. Again, the poem, the pupils will be able to frame. See, they will frame sentences using difficult words. So these will be coming under skill. So these will be coming under skill. So they will be able to frame sentences. So this will be writing skill. This will be their writing skill. Okay. So this is also another level of cognitive domain. Okay. And these will be also application, that they will be able to apply while framing sentences. They will be able to apply these difficult words. So that's why these will be also application. So skill as well as application, these may come under skill as well as application A while writing instructional objectives. Application. Okay, then moving further, the another objectives, you see, the pupils will be able to compare. They will be able to compare what? Compare and contrast. They will be able to compare and contrast two different situations depicted in the poem. So there are two different situations. One situation is that the tiger is moving around in the jungle, and other situation is the tiger in the cage. So these two different situations, the pupils will be able to compare, as well as they can have a contrasting view that how these two different situations are mentioned or narrated in the poem or stated in the poem. So that will be able to understood by the pupils, and that's why we have written like this, that the pupils will be able to compare as well as what? They will be able to compare as well as contrast two different situations depicted in the poem. So that's why it's coming under the understanding level of cognitive domain. The pupils will be able to use the proper punctuations while reading the poem and use proper pacing and pausing. So they will know where to pause, where to give some space, and where to stop. So this is their application of the knowledge of their reading skills. So this is also their application as well as skill. This will also coming under the skill. This is skill of reading. So this where we can write that the cognitive level, the skill level of cognitive domain. Skill level of cognitive domain. We can write skill here. The pupils will develop. So see, they will develop what? Develop interest. So interest is go to another domain. So what is that domain? That domain is known as cognitive domain. Then the affective domain. So this affective domain, this interest is related to his own emotions. That when the tiger is moving around in the jungle, his emotion was something different, and when he was in a cage, his emotion was something different. And out of reading this poem, he will be more interested in knowing some other poem, or write or read or recite some other poems, poem, right, written by the same poet. So they will develop this kind of interest. We will make this lesson so beautiful, so energetic, that they will develop some interest. That is my objectives. So these objectives are coming under what domain? The affective domain. So we touched affective domain, we touched cognitive domain, and one more domain is psychomotor domain. So psychomotor domain is related to, as you have already understood, that psychomotor domain is related to what? These are related to the motor skills like writing. They will, while writing, they will apply their hand to write. So these skills are also, this writing skill specially comes under psychomotor domain. So we have touched three domain: cognitive domain, and through interest we develop the affective domain. So we develop affective domain, and we also develop psychomotor domain. Okay, so we also develop psychomotor domain. How? By make them able to write. Psychomotor domain. Okay, psychomotor domain. So these three domain: cognitive domain, then affective domain, then psychomotor domain. These three domains have to be touched in empty skill while writing the instructional objectives. Moving further, there may be some mistakes also, since these are very new when I have experienced this for the first time, and that's the things I kept with me, and that has been shared for your understanding. Now, moving further, if we can see that empty skills, why we are learning these skills, empty skills? Yes, we are learning these empty skills in order to see that how to use it, how, why, or where we will use these empty skills. We will obviously use these empty skills for macro lesson plan. We are planning ourselves so that we can take a complete class, and that complete class will be very good and interesting classes. So these instructional objectives are set while you are in a kind of guided, you are a kind of guided classes. So in micro teaching, what happens? We usually say what? We usually take some situations. In a classroom situations, we are assuming out of our friends group, we are assuming that my friends are my students, my colleagues are my students. In this way, we just try to learn that how or what are the skills we require. So therefore, these are done at a micro level, not in the actual classroom situation. So these skills are known as micro teaching skills. Okay, empty skills. So now macro teaching skills. So these micro teaching skills we use while we are in a real classroom. So in a real classroom, what we need? We need a macro lesson plan. We need a lesson plan, and that is called macro lesson plan. Why? Because this whole period of 40 to 45 minutes is covered in a particular session, or this is real classroom situation. Now moving further, if you can see that this is an extract from the lesson plan. This is macro lesson plan. So the first lesson plan I have you know discussed. Here is the sound of music. This is a chapter from class 9 textbook. Now only paragraph 1 and 2 from Beehive English textbook we will cover. So before go to the directly go to the specific objectives, we first have to set some general objectives in case of macro lesson plan. So what are these objectives? The pupil will be able to comprehend what others say in English. That means here if you read, then you can see a comprehensive view what kind of things will be developed by the teacher out of a complete course or out of a complete book. This general objectives means what are the general abilities the pupil will develop among themselves. Okay, that abilities are stated in a general way. It may These objectives are not set for this particular lesson, rather the sound of music, right? This lesson sound of music, these are not for this sound of music, but these are universal. That means for different prose lessons, poem lesson, poem grammar, everywhere. What are the Why we are teaching prose, whether we are teaching poems or maybe grammar, out of these things we will develop some general objectives. We will develop some general sense, general skills, general understanding, general knowledge, general interest. So that kind of general applications of our knowledge, we will develop a general kind of understanding. And that's why these objectives are the primary objectives and are called general objectives. Now we are concentrating on the sound of music. So now we are not concentrating on poems, prose, etc. So here you can see we'll be able to comprehend in general objectives. It is written like comprehend the what others say in English, make conversations. They will be able to read English with correct intonations, correct pronunciation, correct phrase. And then the pupils will be able to read the English silently and comprehend it. They will be able to understand as well as silently read it, and then they will write it correctly. So these are the general kind of behavior that we are expecting from the pupil to have out of the whole course structure that are being framed for that particular pupils. So these are the general objectives. So this is in general we'll have to develop out of so many lessons, prose, poems. It may be consisting of prose, poems, or maybe grammar. Now going to the specific objectives, what we can see that the pupils will be able to read the first two paragraphs. They will be able to read the first two paragraphs of the poem of the lesson, that is the sound of music, with proper intonation, with proper pronunciation. So this is their reading skill. Then we are writing the second instructional objectives in order to why when we are in a position to teach this lesson, we have an objectives in our mind that the pupils will be able to say as well as they will be able to write the summary of the first two paragraphs of the lesson. Next, the pupils the pupils will be able to use the following words. Different difficult words they will be able to use while writing or speaking in English. Okay, so these are some of the words that are being stated. These words, they can understand their meaning, they can frame a sentence out of it. So these are application, skill, and understanding. So understanding, application, as well as skills is being covered here. So it should be right in a form that first it will come understanding, first knowledge. Here knowledge is not there, so understanding. Then number two application, and number three there will be skills. So we should try to write it in a chronological order. So the pupils will be able to define. So define what? Define the adjectives. So here there are some grammar points. These out of these two paragraphs we will try our best to define what is adjectives. Okay, so this is knowledge level, and they will be able to underline the adjectives. They will be able to do what? Underline the objectives. We will try our best to make them learn or make them know that what is the meaning of adjectives and what are the examples. So they will be able to underline. So this word underline is instructional objectives. So these are some words which denote what? Which denote that students are understanding. They will be able to they will be able to underline. How they will underline? Because they have understood that this is the adjectives, and that's why they have underlined it. So then moving further, the pupils will be able to construct sentences. So when they will be able to construct sentences? When they will be properly understand and able to apply whatever they have understood. So there it is their application of their knowledge as well as understanding. And while writing or while constructing the sentences, they will frame a very good and correct sentences, and writing a correct and good sentences are their skills, their writing skills. So we will say that the pupils will develop their writing skills also. So this is all about the instructional objectives or specific objectives. That means the specifically what objectives we have in our mind before planning a particular lesson. We are planning that these are the things we will develop in the minds of the pupils, in the heart of the pupils. They will develop, we will also develop an interest in the heart of the pupils regarding this particular lesson. Okay, so these are the specific objectives. So thank you.